PEC cannot act in isolation of the ANC's constitution. She also quotes the judge as saying it is clear that a right to a hearing before decisions are made are to be at the heart of the ANC organization. Another one is it appears that the branches, this is according to the judge, it appears that the branch, let's listen in.
You're just joining now. These are live visuals at the South Gauteng High Court as Judge Catherine Situane has just declared that the decision taken by the ANC's NEC to dissolve the Provincial Executive Committee of the Northwest was unprocedural and unlawful. One of the men at the center, of course, of the application that was brought to this court is Supra Mahumapelo, was also subsequently asked during that decision. Mr. Mahumapelo, thank you very much for joining us. Your reaction, first of all, to the court's outcome.
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, we are not elated because in the first place, we are not supposed to be here today. The leadership of the African National Congress in the National Executive Committee just paused and reflected a bit on the issues that we were raising when all the machinations were in motion to ensure that the PEC gets to be dissolved. So we are not happy because when you elect a National Executive Committee, it must take its political work serious. The National Executive Committee must make sure that before you arrive at such serious decisions, you pause, you take time, you reflect on the possible political implications of your decision, and you look at many other options before you can take such a draconian decision. So we have not been saying that the NEC doesn't have the power to take that decision. Our matter always has been political procedural fairness, and today the court has confirmed that. So we hope that this will provide an opportunity for us to listen to one another with our National Executive Committee, and where we made mistakes, those mistakes must be corrected, allow the organization to be united, and allow the ANC in the Northwest Province to prepare for victory in the elections in May.
Certainly, from what we saw happen in the Northwest, of course, preceding this court application that you brought, there seemed to be a lot of division within the Northwest, pertaining, of course, to your leadership there, those who believed that you should go. What do you think would be the implications now? You spoke about implications for your movement itself. What do you think the implications will now be, given that you've now won this case, and this is a province where there are people who also believed that you should have left?
The quest for unity in the African National Congress is like a road that is perpetually under construction. So you never arrive at a stage where you say you've got total unity, because the conditions under which you pursue such unity change all the time. That's why you need to appreciate those differing ideas within the African National Congress actually as a strength to the African National Congress, and use that to strengthen the organization. Rather than when you see political differences, you then come in and use the political differences to get at other comrades. It doesn't help the revolution in that way.
So do you believe now, of course, part key to what you brought to this court was the fact that you believed that the dissolution of that Provincial Executive Committee was nothing based on politics, and simply because, amongst others, you did not support Cyril Ramaphosa in the run-up to Nasrec? Well,
it's not about Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa. The point we have always been making is that before we went to Nasrec, there were people in the province who were being mobilized to say the PEC must go. At Nasrec, as soon as the results were announced, people started to make pronouncements inside the hall to say that now the opportunity to get rid of the PEC has arrived after the announcement of the top 6 officials. Immediately after the national conference in Nasrec, people started intensifying the campaign. We took pains to go as the provincial officials to see the NEC officials in February last year, and we said to them, this is an analysis of our situation in the province, please intervene. And they said they'll come back to us. Until today, they are still coming back to us.
What does this mean for the meeting that you had with the ANC Secretariat? You did say in the last court appearance when judgment had been reserved that you had met with the ANC Secretariat and basically you would now chart a way forward following this judgment. What are you expecting the ANC to now say?
Well, we are an organization that abide by the rule of law in South Africa. So I don't expect the national leadership of the ANC to do something that is against the Constitution of the Republic. Because the National Democratic Revolution brought about the Constitution of the Republic. And therefore, for us to be having this Constitution, it means the National Democratic Revolution has achieved some of its objectives. Therefore, we will listen to the national leadership of the ANC. We are members of the ANC. We strive to be disciplined at all times. And during those discussions, we will see where to from now. But remember, at the center of everything that we do must be the masses of our people who express their rights through the branches of the African National Congress. So it's important as we move forward to remember that whatever we do, it is basically the membership of the ANC that must give us direction. And as leadership, having listened to the directions that is coming from the ground, from the membership and the branches, we can then say this is the way forward. But what I'm saying is, what is urgent now is for us in the province to bring everybody together and work towards a decisive victory of the ANC in the May elections. Pointing fingers and saying so-and-so has done this and so-and-so has not done this is not going to help the revolution. But I hope that our leadership will be candid and humble enough to say we may have thought we took the right decision, but procedural fairness was fundamental for us to have arrived at that decision.
Are you saying then that unity with the ANC currently is a fallacy, given the fact that in this particular judgment by Judge Catherine Sitlwane, she did say that the ANC had basically violated its own constitution?
Well, I'm not saying unity is a fallacy. I'm saying unity within the African National Congress is something you work on perpetually. As long as we exist in this organization, we work for unity. That's why we were formed in 1912 as the African National Congress. The basis of the formation, the pillar of the formation of the ANC was to unite the people of South Africa. Therefore, we'll always strive for unity. No matter how difficult the situation is, we must put the unity of the organization first. And we're saying to the NEC, you dissolving the PEC will not bring unity. The extent of the instability now in the province is shocking. Some of them in the NEC are now admitting, privately of course, that the decision was not the best decision under the circumstances. Their own PTT they put in place. And we had told them that these people that are putting in the PTT, they are lazy, they don't do organizational work, they just wanted to be in positions. As we speak now, they are now in 4 splits within that PTT. Therefore, they must still be helped themselves to come together now as ordinary members of the branch. We have always said in the PC about these comrades who are crying that they are being sidelined and so on. We have always said, let's convene branch meetings in your own areas. Come to the branch meeting and say in front of everybody that I'm being sidelined by the leadership of the PEC. So that not the PEC, but the membership, if they are convinced and they agree with you, they must say, indeed, we are sidelined and therefore the PEC is wrong. It must not be individuals who say so, it must be the branch to which you and me should be belonging to.
With such divisions that you speak of, are you concerned at all, finally, about the reception that you will receive once you return?
Oh, I'm in the organization. I have faced many challenges over time. And it's not about me. It's about the collective. And above the collective is about the African National Congress. And at the center of what is it about the ANC is about the masses of our people.
Are you worried?
In the Northwest Province. I'm never worried about anything. I've passed the stage of anxiety, of worry in my life. I've passed that stage long time ago. I don't worry about anything.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Supra Mahumapelo, of course, they're saying he's not concerned about anything at this stage relating to the victory that he has scored inside this court here today. Of course, Judge Catherine Sitluwane indicating that the decision that was taken by the ANC NEC was unconstitutional and unprocedural. A victory for him, considering the fact that we'd seen in the run-up to the unrest that we saw in the northwest, there were factions within that particular province, but with the PEC itself being dissolved, Supra Mahumapelo says now he returns, and in fact part of that judgment that was delivered here does indicate that this ruling needs to be effected within 2 days of this ruling, and that basically the PTT itself is not supposed to carry out any work that it is given by the National Executive Committee. But we'll post it back to you in studio for now.
Griselda, thank you very much indeed for your reporting. Okay, we heard immediate reaction from Supra Mahumapelo saying that, I quote, not elated. They're not elated. They're not happy because they weren't supposed to be here in the